Welcome back and thanks for staying with us. We're still going through the front pages of the paper. Moving on to the Punch. Major headline: 2027 presidency. Mark cautions Atiku Obi as federal government slaps coalition chiefs. Presidency mark clash over Tinubu's reforms. APC, PDP chieftain join ADC in Borno, Gombe, Ondo, and Jigawa. Of course, you can't miss the picture story of 5 suspected illegal Chinese miners arrested alongside 4 Nigerian operatives of the Kaduna Zonal Director of the EFCC. They were on display yesterday at the Kaniyi village of Mokwa local government area of Niger State. Customs, EFCC step up airport surveillance against money laundering. 3 school children, Okada riders, crushed to death in Oyo State. Adiola will run for Ogo governor in 2027. Aid confirms. U.S. cuts Nigeria's visa validity to 3 months. Natasha postpones Senate's return as National Assembly awaits apology. Presidency blast Obi on as Waneze demands Kano's release. 2025 admission, the JAMB sets 150 benchmark bars under 16. So we've taken that story already, but we haven't taken the story of the US and Nigeria.
Natasha is what me I have.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah,
so
give us the gist.
Now, CTC got a copy of the judgment and the review by the Senate leadership have stalled everything. So Senator Natasha had gone on after the judgment, reinstating her, went out. She did a video saying she would resume yesterday. We're looking forward to that, but then she now postponed it because, you know, they have intel, that's how I want to put out, from the Senate, saying that the Senate leadership said that they would review the matter after they received the CTC of the court judgment. And so she, on her own part, has not followed through the entire judgment. The judgment also is stated that she does a public apology in 2 public dailies, as well as on her social media account on this matter. That's how I put it, not to any individual. Personally, I think that the National Assembly and the Senate as a body is worthy of an apology. The institution is what she should apologize, so I don't expect this to stall further. If the court judgment requires that she does a public apology, you can apologize to an institution and leave your personal matters aside. But so she hasn't done that, and so she had to postpone. The leadership of the House also are saying that until they get the review of the judgment, I think they should just let this war happen and end once and for all.
Yeah, but I think to add to that, I think that the judgment did not also specify who the apology should be, whether it's because of the company, whether because there was a contempt of court, whether it's to the courts or to the Senate. There was no specifics. So when they get that and review the judgment, we'll now know who they go. Because if you say something is unconstitutional, I don't understand why they should be an apology.
All right, let's move on to another story.
The next story.
The next story.
2 lawyers are in court.
Yes.
Thank you. We are not in court. The Nigerian Customs Service, Murtala Mohammed International Airport Command, has engaged stakeholders, including the EFCC and NFIU, and passengers, amongst others, to tackle money laundering and terrorism financing. They had an event themed anti-money laundering / counter financing terrorism procedure. And they had the Customs Area Controller in charge of command, F. Young Harrison, who spoke. He said that this forum is apt, especially as it concerns inward and outward declaration of foreign currencies. He said since the last sensitization earlier this year, the command has made remarkable progress on multiple fronts through interventions, engagements with relevant stakeholders and other government agencies, as well as the traveling public. He said that this resulted in the interceptions of non-declaration, false declaration, and under-declaration of currencies with the suspects, which were handed over to EFCC for further necessary action. So they said this year is just to refresh themselves and raise standards in ensuring that Nigeria is elevated back to accepted international status via robust national security. And so for the traveling public, I think it's worthy to note that Customs, EFCC, NFIU, they are not joking about, declaring the currencies that you're traveling with. We know what we're meant to do, but somehow we still find people at the airports
trying to smuggle.
Yes, smuggle in currencies out.
All right, so I have the gist everybody has been talking about since yesterday. The United States Department of State has announced an update to its non-immigration visa policy for Nigerian citizens. According to a press release issued by the U.S. Embassy in Abuja on Tuesday, most non-immigrant and non-diplomatic visas issued to citizens of Nigeria will be single-entry visas with a 3-month validity period. But then they also said that this new restriction, it takes effect immediately, but then it doesn't affect visas that were issued before July 8, 2025. And that, so if you have like a 5-year visa, that you retain the valid status and validity of your visa. So, and we all know that now too, that they now say that you have to open up your social media account from private and make it public, because now they are scrutinizing everything that you do on social media before they can award you a visa. So everybody stay woke, be careful. If you have a visiting visa, please don't use it for business. Know what you post, because you're being scrutinized.
Everything will be scrutinized.
Exactly. All right. Who has the story on the 3 school children? You didn't take that anymore. Okay. All right. I was really thinking that somebody took that. But moving on quickly to Daily Sun, major headline: ADC mocks Tinubu over exclusion from U.S. trade talks. We've taken the story of federal government pegging tertiary school admission to 16. Federal government has issued over 3.5 million passports. They've saved 1 billion naira from reforms, and the NCC to charge 10 million for bulk SMS license cracks down on fraud. We also have concurrence. Senate replies, Rep says bill must undergo thorough scrutiny. Insecurity, Igbo in diaspora reject Ruga in Southeast. Constitution review, Reps committed to special seats for women, PW, Ds, Abbas, and US announced the revised visa policy for Nigerians. Taking that story. So the only story we haven't taken here is the issue of passports and the concurrence. Who has what?
Okay, so let me take the passport issue. No, that's not the story I have. Okay. I read it, but that's not the story.
I don't have any of that. I have the Igbo in diaspora.
Okay, take the Igbo in diaspora.
Go on.
Okay. They have warned against the acquisition of land anywhere in the southeast for Ruga, saying such would breed insecurity as is currently happening in Benue and Plateau states. The President, American Veterans of Igbo Descent, AVID, Mr. Sylvester Onya, says on behalf of others, the Igbo in diaspora, they were resisting Ruga as it does not bring peace or development. They said for them, they see it as a private business disguised as government policy. It is a hidden plan to take over our ancestral lands and hand them over to Fulani settlers using agriculture as an excuse. He says, let it be known that Ruga project and so-called national waterway bills are part of the same evil plan. So I guess this is where we find ourselves sometimes where government policy is being rejected or not understood by the populace. As we know, there's some sort of mistrust, with some government policies, and this is what we're seeing in this case. So I guess the way forward will be a better understanding of what the policy is, or listen to the people that say they don't want it, and maybe whatever it is, just do it without them. And it has happened many times, you do something, some parts don't participate.
Just because we read it, the Minister for Interior was, commissioning an office that would ease, renewal of passport for high officials, high government officials, and, remove them from the normal queue of the general public. And he was at that event speaking about having issued 3.5 million passports in 2 years. He says that when they came into office, they met a backlog of unprocessed, sorry, am I saying visa? I meant passports. Yes, they met a backlog of over 200,000 unprocessed passports and a BC of about 20 billion in the sector, and that they've done so much over these years. They've issued 3.5 million passports to Nigerians. And some Nigerians can attest to the ease of, renewal of passport now. Some people still have their reservations. I think that rather than, create a small office to ease that of high government officials who have been complaining
just make it efficient.
Just make everything efficient. Because this minister has been outstanding of all, on this ESCO. I don't want to taint it with, that's why I wanted to skip it.
Okay, so I want to quickly take the the story of the school children, 3 school children that we lost, you know, may their soul rest in peace. So a commercial truck on Tuesday crashed 3 junior secondary school students and 1 commercial motorcyclist, popularly known as Okada rider, went you know, somewhere in Uluyole local government in Oyo State. These kids were on their way to school, and these heavy-duty trucks ran into the motorcycle, killed the motorcyclist, killed these 3 children. 2 died on the spot. 1, you know, was declared dead at the hospital. Yes, this is sad. The school people are outraged. People came out, blocked the roads. They are angry. They are begging because the truck driver ran away. So they are begging the government that justice needs to be served. That you can't. That they keep having these incidents with heavy-duty trucks. You know, there's no regulations on what time they should be on the road and stuff. Like, this is sad. My heartfelt condolences goes to their family and loved ones. This should not, you know, should not be happening.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's all we can take on front page review for today. That's not the kind of tone we want to have today, because today is somebody's birthday. So all through the day we're celebrating the birthday. So our heart condolences would always go, but the government owes a responsibility to the people, and we believe that should prioritize, that the priority should be on that. So we'll take a break. When we return, we have a lot packed on the show today. Like I said, it's World Mariam's Day. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.